All right. Hello, everyone. This is Dennis Schultz. I'm the Executive Director for the Blacks in Technology Foundation. Thank you for taking the time to join me and Dr. T.L. Holmes for this webinar. We're going to be discussing ADA compliance and SEO, and he's going to unveil some truths about what you should and shouldn't know and what is the reality of compliance and what it means to be compliant and what the consequences are of being non-compliant. With that, I am going to hand over to Dr. Holmes to get started with without further ado. And Dr. Holmes, tell people a little bit about who you are and where you're from.
Oh man, thank you for having me. I am so grateful to Blacks in Technology for allowing me this platform to talk. I am from Florida, actually. I'm residing in New York at the moment, and I have been in the marketing space for quite some time. I'm still 21, and we're gonna we're gonna keep that true for a little while. And I've just enjoyed working in the marketing space for as long as I have. We started with a marketing consulting company, Media Concepts Group, and fast forward to the pandemic, we started looking at some things differently as did everybody else, right? And we've wanted to stay true to our marketing roots, our marketing background. And so we started um, doing some different things. We realized that, people wasn't doing in-person, learning or in-person, meetings and clients and stuff of that nature. So that's when Zoom kicked off, right? And we started doing a lot of um, taking our knowledge base and producing content such as how to use software, how to use social media. We have about 23 um, um, virtual courses with about 711 videos that's allotted to those different courses. From there, we got into doing a whole lot of SEO because now the government mandated everybody be home. And so, of course, internet use, website use went up probably 300, 400% at that point. And so we started seeing it early on that because of the usage of the internet, um, that better or more regulations was going to start coming. And so what we started doing was developing different types of marketing software. Um, and we did a lot of software development in SEO, search engine optimization. And so started tapping around into that. And then we found this little code that um, that talked about compliance, that dealt with compliance and was able to make your websites compliant. And we had heard President Biden talk about reactivating the law, the ADA law, which stands for Americans Disability Act, and how a lot of people wasn't compliant. And so I'm a businessman. And so, we saw when there was a major need. And so we put our hats together and put our heads together to not only, give the answer or provide information, but also provide the answer, which is a software um, that met that need and solved that issue and provided a solution. And that's how we came up with Annexus ADA. Um, we formed a company, Annexus Media Group, to concentrate on software development, marketing software development, and we wound up with about 23 different software products. So it's been an exciting ride so far.
All right, all right. And I'm assuming you're going to talk to all the things related to SEO and ADA. Is there do you need screen share access?
Well, not right now. We're gonna start with just talking some background. We'll talk about the issue. We'll talk about the pros, the cons. We also talk about the solution and then some of the benefits of that solution. If it's okay, I would love to play a video probably a little later to sort of describe the software a little bit and what it does,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Right now, just so you know, the audience, they're in listen only mode,
Okay.
but they can communicate through the chat or the Q&A.
Okay.
I'll kind of
Awesome.
monitor that. And then also, if you want anybody to talk, you can request that they raise their hand and we can turn on their mic and camera.
Okay. Awesome. Yes. There's a message here. Can you read that message? I can't see it on my end.
In the chat,
Chat. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, just a couple of folks saying hello. And Sherelle Francis says, "Long time no see." Great to see you. She's from New Jersey, now in South Florida.
Awesome. Now there's a last one says TL wow. Okay, long time no see. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hello there. Hello there. Listen, I need you guys to talk back to me. I'm a question answer guy. Hello response person. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave a comment, feel free to raise your hand and we will definitely, answer those questions. And if not, if we can't answer, we'll point you in a direction that you want to go. Well, listen, man, the main thing that about SEO, which I'm sure that most of you all know, it stands for search engine optimization. One of the key things, a lot of people think, SEO is just, getting rankings on Google or on Yahoo, when it's a lot more than just that. One of the things that we have discovered is that there are a few components that relates to SEO. One of the main components is keywords and keyword engineering. Um, what you have to understand is when you go to the um, the Google search and you do a drop down and you put a word in the search box, do you realize that there's a whole list that drops down? And I don't know if anybody ever thought of that, but what you may not know is at the moment that you are putting in your question or your what Google recognizes keywords, special words or certain words, how to cook a quick meal under 5 minutes. Those are all separate keywords, and so what happens is the internet, it's the World Wide Web, correct? So the internet sends out pings that's connected to your keywords. That's where hashtags come in at. That's where your signs come in at. Because if you have your website programmed correctly, you will have certain keywords that's attached to your SEO engineering on the back end of your website. So that's when you go to Google and you put your keyword in, you see a whole list that comes down under that drop down, that signifies all of the words that people are searching at that moment that's related to your word. That's why it's very important that when you build your website from the ground up, that you place words that relates to your site. Why is that important? It's so that when someone is looking for something that's related to your site, let's say that you have a cleaning company, you want to program keywords to your site, maybe hashtag um, cleaning, cleaning company, um, cleaning soap, anything that deals with that, anything that's going to bring recognition. So when someone puts in a keyword, that your site comes up first. That's where you hear a lot of people talk about, first page ranking. So when you start doing keyword engineering, um, your SEO engineering, keywords plays a big factor into that. Your long tail keywords, your short tail keywords, you want to make sure that you engineer your website to be recognized with that. And that's how you enhance your SEO. Now, SEO does not happen overnight. SEO does not happen in 1 week. Um, SEO is a continual process. You should be managing or monitoring your SEO stats on a weekly basis. Now, also, what triggers that is how many times your the keywords that you activate to your website or that you connect to your website, how many times it comes up, how many times people go to your website. And so those two things connect, all right? And that's one of the things that Google looks at to make sure that number one, that your website is speaking true to whatever keyword someone is picking up or typing in. Meaning, if I put in brooms for sale and your website comes up, but you're not selling brooms, your website would eventually get flagged and drop in its keyword search. Why? You ever seen the movie that where it says, "Homie, don't play that." Google don't play that. So you want to make sure that you keep um, your your keywords and your long tail keywords, your short tail keywords managed properly. And when you do update your website, make sure that you update your keywords. Make sure that you maintenance your keywords that deals with your SEO. How do we get into um, developing a software, a ADA software? Well, I'm glad you asked. ADA compliance is was put in the law, years ago, and just recently with due to the coronavirus standpoint, we experienced people going back to their homes, going back to not working at the job, so they're on online on their computers, all day. Now you may have been on your computers at work, but now you're working from home, so you're at your computer while you're working, but you're also going to stay on your computer throughout the day. Now people are starting to watch television from their computer. People are starting to use their mobile devices, such as your iPhones, your iPads, your Androids. And so, with the government recognizing that, they was like, "Listen, we have to make sure that um, we bring some type of regulation to people that are trying to utilize websites or computers and they are not able to because of their disabilities." And so they decided to reenact the ADA compliance law, but with a twist, Article 3, which states that any company with a website or web presence have to make sure by law that your website is ADA compliant. And with us understanding what that means, there are about 400 million websites in the US right now. 95% of those websites are not ADA compliant. Now, if you've never heard of the term digital ADA compliance, please put a 1-1 in the chat box. If you've never heard of digital ADA compliance, put a 1-1 in the chat box. I need you talking to me. There we go. There go one. If you've never heard of digital ADA compliance, put a 1-1 in the chat box. And so this is good because what you also need to realize, just because you don't know about it doesn't mean that you can't be affected by it. Let's talk about some some issues with not being ADA compliant. Well, number one, who is at risk of not being compliant? Well, you know, if you're not compliant, what kind of companies are at risk? You have your local businesses, you have your small businesses, you have your corporations, you have your internet businesses, e-commerce businesses, your law offices, your doctor's offices, hospitals. Just imagine there are hospitals that are not compliant. Any one of you, I'm sure we got some tech people out here. If you own a website that you are not catering to individuals with disabilities, you are at risk. At risk of what? You're at risk of being literally sued by individuals that are are facing disabilities, and they cannot peruse your site um, with ease. Let me take you to a story. Um, there was a young lady that purchased a ticket to go see Beyonce in concert. She wound up not wanting to go to the concert. And so she went to her website to see how she could return the ticket. Lo and behold, um, she had a disability. And Beyonce's site, yes, the Beyonce. I don't know who's a part of the Beehive out there, but Beyonce's production company on the website, their site was not ADA compliant. And so what happened was um, this lady sued Beyonce's production company, and they lost. When I say they lost, Beyonce's production company lost the court case. And the lady won, I think, upwards towards $800,000 in that case, just for a ticket. That was, yes, that's $8 to Beyonce, but someone like us, with you may have a business, you may have a small business, um, those can really hit you in a bad place. So if your website is not compliant, every day you're not compliant is every day you're a sitting duck. These are the facts. You can Google this, you can look this stuff up. Hooters, same thing. They were sued because their website was not compliant. I think the largest lawsuit I've seen in my research has been $6 million, and that's where a ADA compliance group went after a corporation, and they won. They won because the website is not compliant. What are some compliances that are looked at or looked for? Number one, there is are people that may not be able to read or see very well the words on your web page. One of the compliance measures that could take place of that is text to speech, where you highlight um, that paragraph, and it reads the information to them. Another compliance is towards ADHD, where you can't really pay attention. Your attention span is real short. Well, there's a compliance method for that. There's a compliance method that caters to individuals with epilepsy. There's a compliance measure that caters to people that can't see your cursor. Now, I have a problem with that a lot of times. I have to shake shake my my cursor area to be able to see and identify it. There's a compliance um, point that makes your cursor larger. So there are several different compliances. How many of you own your own businesses? Now I know that everybody in technology may not own your own businesses, but If you own your own business, put a 7-7 in the chat box. Put a 7-7 in the chat box. If you own your own business. If you own your own business, please put a 7-7 in the chat box. Let me see how many business owners we have. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Who knows? This may be an opportunity for you to network. Put a 7-7 and also put the type of business or the name of your business that you have. If you are a business owner, this is something that you really want to pay attention to. The reason why, what's the connection between um, ADA compliance and SEO? Well, one of the main components of Google is making sure that websites are compliant. So if your website is compliant, you have a better chance of ranking on the first page of Google than a website that does not have ADA compliance. And that's how we actually stumbled into the ADA compliance software, is when we were, doing our software development with SEO. That was one of the things that popped up, and us hearing about it in the news and in the government, we say, hey, listen, we start connecting the dots. And so it is extremely important that we as business owners, we as entrepreneurs have leverage. We have something that gives us the edge. We have something that gives us enough information and enough wherewithal to put us ahead, because there are so many things in this world that's beating us up as entrepreneurs, that's beating us down, as business owners, that we need something that's going to not take advantage of us or not put us in a position to, not be successful as a business. We have to put ourselves in a position to make sure we scale and we don't leave ourselves as sitting ducks as an entrepreneur, as a small business. One of the things that a lot of people ask is, what is the general or the normal cost of a lawsuit if someone was to sue me for not being ADA compliant? Well, normally you're looking at about $50,000 as that we've seen with people that and those people that actually um, come up with a deal, and those are normally around $50,000. Now, if you got extra $50,000 to throw away, that's fine. If not, you need to make sure that your website is ADA compliant. And so, does anyone have any questions as it relates, or does anyone know of anyone or company or friend of yours or someone at work or what have you that is dealing with an ADA compliance issue? If you have a question, put your question in the chat, or you can raise your hand, and they'll identify you and let you come on and ask your question. Anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions? All right. All right. Well, let's keep going here. Let's keep going. So let's continue to talk about some of the solutions that's needed, or that we have come up with. We have created a better readable experience with our software, where visitors can select different options, multiple language options. Our software provides multiple language options. I think we're at about 100 different languages that you can convert your website to by the click of a button. Also, content scaling, making the content on your website larger, by pressing the button on the widget that pops up. Also, readable font. Um, we also have dyslexia friendly mode, um, highlighting titles. All of these things make your website more readable when it comes to people with disabilities. And we also have a visual pleasing experience that you have to make sure your site is. Um, Options for that will be your dark contrast mode, your monochrome mode, your high saturation mode. It takes the saturation out. You could change the text colors and stuff of that nature. Also, orientation. Software also allows for your website to have great orientation. You can mute the sound. You can have a virtual keyboard if your computer is compatible with that. You can highlight the focus. You can text to speech, which is what I was talking about earlier. That's a great option. We also have some advanced features, which is what I was mentioning as well, that caters to epilepsy, safe mode, or cognitive disability mode, your ADHD, and your visually impaired. That's someone that is having issues with being able to see the website. Um, Another thing that you want to make sure that you do if you own a website is you want to make sure that you get a ADA compliance audit. You want to make sure that you get an ADA compliance audit. That's extremely important because it tells you, number one, if your website is ADA compliant. Number two, it tells you that what non-compliance issues is your website facing. So it should identify those issues as well. You should at least get that at least once per year. You want to get an ADA compliance audit at least once per year. Let me deal with a couple of benefits of having this software or ADA, making sure your website is ADA compliant. Number one, not that just that you don't have to worry about being sued because your website is compliant or compliant pending. Number two, um, it opens your website up and your business up to an amazing new group of people that can be your clients now. Now that your website is compliant, we're going to go to a site that I'll show you what it is particularly. Um, but it shows it has the ability to make sure that people that have disabilities can now utilize your website, and if they can utilize your website, they mean they can buy your product or patronize you for your service. And number three, and this is a really cool benefit. It is a tax write-off. As a business expense, this is a tax write-off. You can check with your CPA and they can go over that with you. But when you purchase your ADA software, you make sure that you report that on your taxes so you can receive some type of reprieve on that business expense that you have adapted or adopted into your workload or your business. Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? And I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us today. It's important, it was important to me to connect with Mr. Dennis and make sure that people have this information. Just like some people said earlier, they haven't never heard of digital ADA compliance, and what you don't know can hurt you. What you don't know can cause you to get sued by someone that has a disability. So you need to make sure that you do your research. And we are here to answer any questions that you may have. You can connect with me on social media. My social media handles, and we'll, get that information out to you, is Dr. TL Holmes online. That's DRTL Holmes online. That's HOLMES. Dr. TL Holmes online. That's Facebook, that's LinkedIn, that's Instagram. Reach out to me, ask me any questions. We do a lot with giving people information. We're getting ready to set up a digital marketing Facebook group where you can get resources, you can get access to training materials, courses, and our ADA compliance software. I do want to take a moment, if it's okay, Mr. Dennis, to show the to I do want to take a moment and show um, this little video that we made about our software product, if that's okay.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Let me bring it up real quick. And Dennis, what are some questions that individuals has asked you about ADA compliance?
Say again.
What are some questions that individuals has asked you about ADA compliance when it comes to the technology and the and digital ADA compliance?
Well, I haven't had any questions, but I do have some questions of my own
Okay.
that I was just kind of curious about, and one of which is with respect to the monitoring or the governance around ADA compliance. I'm assuming this is more or less on the honor system, and until there's a problem, nobody's going to proactively audit your site and say you're not compliant. Is that
Well, yes and no. We are going towards more of a digital age than we're not. If you guys see, there are a lot of more AI technology that's coming up. There are a lot of cyber security technology that's coming up, and it's going to be to a point where they do start scanning sites, especially if you are starting to look into doing business with the government. This is a government law. You can go on .gov and look up ADA compliance, section 3. And it talks very specifically about being compliant, not being in compliant, and stuff of that nature. So no, this is a thing that's going to become more relevant in the time to come.
right?
So no, it's definitely steadily getting more more issues, especially when with the buildup of COVID and people now being on their websites more. It really caused a really big ruckus in 2020. It started in 2018, 2019, but in 2020 is when it hit the fan. It was thousands, tens of thousands of cases that were filed, and this stuff is researchable. You can Google this stuff, and you'll see for yourself how important this is. What's your other question?
So related to that, with respect to fines, you mentioned lawsuits, but for example, if you are building or you're building a new structure, it has to, be ADA compliant with respect to physical accessibility.
Yes, sir.
Hotels have to be compliant and have rooms available. There has to be ramps, anywhere there's stairs, that type of thing. So
Mhm.
if you don't comply from a building perspective, you can get fined by the government. If your
Correct.
website's not in compliance, is there a fine levied by a government agency, or is the only penalty right now just a personal civil suit?
It's a personal suit. right now? Great question. It's a personal civil suit. Unless you are doing business with the government, and the government is making demands that you meet certain compliances, just like they do with buildings. Definitely city buildings and government buildings, right? They make sure that they meet certain ADA compliances. So if you're doing business with the government, they're going to make sure that your website is compliant, because they're sending people to your site, or depending on what services you're providing, they may have to go to your site. And if their employees are disabled, then that becomes an issue.
Mm.
So yeah, that's definitely, something that that's a great question though, and I'm sure other people may have that question as well. I'm going to show my screen. I want to do two things. I want to show the video, and then I want to show a web page that deals with the software that we are going to introduce now. Okay. And here we go.
Attention business owners and high-level executives. Is your company's website ADA compliant?
Can you guys hear that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome.
You don't know, then it's likely that it isn't. Companies are being sued right now because their websites are not ADA compliant. Why? Because it's against the Americans with Disabilities Act compliance law. From small businesses, online marketers, realtors, e-com store owners, to doctors' offices, restaurants, nonprofits, medium and large corporations, nobody is safe. You may even know a company that's being sued right now because their website is non-compliant. You don't have to be a sitting duck any longer. Annexus Media Group has the best solution for you. Introducing Annexus ADA. Our new ADA compliance software allows us to offer you an entire suite of ADA compliance services that won't just put you in compliance, but also open your business up to the $650 billion disability market that you may not be serving right now. Our software will put you in position to meet the demands of several different areas of disabilities and inclusions based on need. Annexus ADA compliance software solutions will help get your content to people with limitations and make your quality content available in over 50 languages. Their experience with your website and company, now being compliant and inclusive, will be second to none. Annexus ADA compliance software addresses 32 points of disabilities. Annexus also provides award-winning customer support by an experienced team ready to serve your needs. Our software is also great for your SEO rankings. Google gives more relevance to sites that are ADA compliant. To get started, first go to www.anexusada.com. Second, choose the right plan based on your company needs. Let us know who referred you on your form to get a discount. And third, submit your request. Lastly, a representative will contact you to process your request and email you detailed instructions for installation. Your personal representative will walk you through every step. We look forward to serving you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now I'm going to show you one of our clients and their website, and just go through the software with you. And okay, the company is vontel.com, and here is their website. And no, we're not leaving. So this is Vontel eyewear. And if you can see here, the bottom left-hand side, there is a handicap icon, accessibility icon, right here in gold. And you can see it on the black better. But if you click that, then pops up over here on the right-hand side is the compliance widget. And as you can see, if you go here, let's go back to the top of the website. If you go here and click on the language, as you can see, there is a, let me close this. There's multiple languages that you can change this site to. Let's go to Spanish. I don't know if we have any Spanish speaking people here. Where are we? There we go. You click that, and then the site turns to Spanish. And you can see the site here. See that? The words are in Spanish. See the menu? It's now in Spanish. Now go back up here and click it back to English, and bam, there you go. I explained to you earlier about the different types of modes. You have the epilepsy mode here that we can turn on and off. If you can see, you can tell how the color gets dramatically shaded there. You have the visually impaired mode here that enhances the site and adjusts the website for convenience. Click that off. Then you have the cognitive disorder, where it separates different parts of the site. Okay. And then you have ADHD, which is kind of cool. It's actually put your focus on where you want your focus on. And it has a focus menu, a focus bar here that you can use to make sure that you can pay attention on what it is you want to pay attention to. So you can turn that on and off. I'm gonna show you one more thing, which is one of the things I like here on the site. Let's see if we can get to an area here on the site that has something that I can read. Hold on one second. All right, and I have a text-to-speech option. Let's see if we can grab this. We can't grab that, but let's see if we can grab this. And reads it and clicks this button.
Bontel website allows you virtually try on every pair of glasses. Upon selecting the glasses you want to view, you must click the virtual try on /button.
Nice. And that's how that works. We are so excited about the capabilities. There are several other things that this site does, or this software does. I'm changing the color, font, light to dark ratio, as you can see there. And it's all in the software. So we are excited to have been a part of developing this software, and we're so excited to present it to the world. We are have a few things going on right now where we are making relationships, and we're actually in a position where we are redoing our website and our offerings because we're in a unique position to offer this software to a few major chamber of commerce, mainly in the state of Georgia, where they are looking to adopt our software as their go-to software for their businesses that are seeking to be a part of the Black Business Chamber of Commerce in the whole state of Georgia. So we are excited to be in this position to not only give information but have impact, provide a solution, and hopefully, I have yes, correct. We are putting that site back up on tonight. So definitely tomorrow go look at the website, Annexus ADA. That's ANEXUSADA.com. The site will be live on tomorrow with the changes that we have implemented. So we're so excited. And thank you, Black and I'm sorry, Black Technology, Black Institute of Technology, Blacks in Technology. I'm sorry. Thank you guys for allowing us this platform to share this information. And if you want anything else, if you guys need to reach out to me, you can reach out to me directly. And Mr. Dennis has my information, and he will be happy to give it to you guys. We're going to do something very special with partnering with Blacks in Technology. I'm so excited to meet this young man. He's extremely inspirational, and I think you guys have built something extremely well here. And I'm glad to be a part of the family.
All right, thank you, Dr. Holmes. I appreciate your time, and hopefully everybody learned a little bit of something today. I'm sure this won't be the last time you hear about ADA compliance, as it's sure to come up again, but now you know to be aware and look out, and a potential solution to a problem you didn't know existed. So thanks everyone for joining, and check us out for our next webinar soon.